From the East Brunswick Jewish Center, I'm Rabbi Jeff Pivo. America's ethnic makeup is changing rapidly. In a few decades, if projections hold, whites will be a minority in America. Now that shouldn't trouble us, since America's freedoms and its possibilities are supposed to be available to all of its citizens, regardless of race or religion. But the fact that it does bother many people, which is to say many white people, is evident when they talk about how neighborhoods change for the worse when a non-white minority begins living in the neighborhood. It's always made me uncomfortable to hear Jews especially talk about the neighborhood changing, in part because of what seems to be the inherent bigotry of such statements. And in part because so many other people have said the same things when Jews have moved into non-Jewish places. There goes the neighborhood. That might be one motivation for the curses that King Balak of Moab wished upon the Israelites in this week's Parsha. The weekly reading begins with the words, Balak, son of Zippor, saw that Israel had done to the Amorites. Moab was alarmed because that people was so numerous. In other words, the Israelites had defeated the Moabites' neighbors, the Amorites, in battle at the end of last week's Parsha. And this week, that success in battle alarms the next neighbor over, the Moabites. Seeing the Israelites move ever closer, King Balak and his people get nervous. There goes the neighborhood. But it was not only the presence of the Israelites. We note that it is the number of them that gives rise to his anxiety. Like the Egyptians before him who feared that the Israelites would grow too many for them to handle, Balak fears a takeover by foreigners, people whose very foreignness is compounded by their numbers. Fear of the foreign is universal. The Moabites and the Egyptians feared the Israelites. American whites have often feared racial minorities, who in turn fear the white majority. Jews have been fearful of many other people, often for good reasons. But at some point, it must be possible for trust to replace suspicion, to open doors previously closed to the stranger. There may be no more pressing social need in America right now than for respect and civility between people of vastly different backgrounds. America seems the ideal laboratory for such interethnic and interreligious compassion, but even here we see how difficult it is to reach that ideal. As we read Parshat Balak this week, we should do so as a caution against our own impulse to feel and to say, there goes the neighborhood. From the East Brunswick Jewish Center, I'm Rabbi Jeff Pivo.